Family Guy. Is Mila Kunis leaving as the voice of Meg? After the Family Guy Season 21 finale, many fans are wondering if Meg, and therefore Mila Kunis, is leaving the hit animated series. Here is what you need to know about Kunis' status on Family Guy, and what might be next for Meg. Meg married off on Family Guy season finale. The season finale of Family Guy this year saw Meg head off to Russia, and it looked like it was going to send off another character from the hit animated series. While a main cast member leaving a show like this is rare, it has happened. Remember, Cleveland and his family left the show and got a spin-off. Could this happen to Meg? Out of everyone on the show, Meg has always been the least liked by most fans. Peter and Lois have always had their moments. Brian and Stewie have always been the highlights every time they get the chance to lead an episode. Even side characters like Quagmire have a reason to stand as great characters on the show. However, Meg has always been a little slighted, both in writing and in the character's personality. In the finale, it looked like Meg was finally on the way out the door. The episode took Meg to Russia along with Brian and Stewie as they looked for an internet hacker named Ivan. However, once they arrived in Russia, Meg fit right in thanks to the dreary and boring atmosphere in the country. It fit her personality perfectly. More so, Meg even seemed to like Ivan when they found him. When Meg asked for a good old-fashioned American cheeseburger, Russian authorities placed her in a hospital and Ivan stayed by her side. This led to Meg marrying him and looking to live happily ever after in Russia. It all ended when Meg heard Ivan brag about getting him a green card by tricking her into marrying him. Meg got her revenge by hacking into Ivan's social media account and sending out anti-Russian messages, which got him arrested and thrown into a Russian prison. That led to Meg returning home. Is Mila Kunis leaving Family Guy? There is nothing to worry about for Mila Kunis and Family Guy. With Meg getting Ivan thrown into a Russian prison and returning home, she will still be around next season when season 22 starts. One wonders if this marriage and her trip to Russia will help the show change her character somewhat. There is also the idea that Meg is still married, so Ivan could return in the future. With a possible recurring storyline added to the show after 21 seasons, it looks like Seth MacFarlane still has something to give when it comes to his hit animated series. What were your thoughts on the Family Guy season finale and Meg's wedding? Let us know in the comments below. In the swirling world of pop culture, few rumors hit harder than the idea of a longtime favorite stepping away from a beloved role. And in the realm of animated television, there's perhaps no more unexpected shock than whispers of Mila Kunis potentially leaving her role as the voice of Meg Griffin on Family Guy. It's the kind of news that sends fans into a tailspin. Could it really be true? Is Meg, arguably the show's longest-running punching bag and dark horse fan favorite, about to sound completely different? And if Mila Kunis is leaving, what does that mean for the character and for Family Guy as a whole? Let's unpack the facts, the fan theories, and the future. A voice that defined Meg. To fully appreciate what Mila Kunis brought to Family Guy, it's worth remembering how she got the role in the first place. Meg Griffin was originally voiced by Lacey Chabert, yes, Mean Girls fans, that Lacey Chabert in the show's first season. But scheduling conflicts forced Chabert to step away, and in 2000, a then 15-year-old Mila Kunis stepped into the booth. She's held the role ever since. What followed was over 2 decades of Kunis shaping Meg into a uniquely pathetic, often pitiful, and strangely endearing character, one who became a running joke, a verbal punching bag, and occasionally the dark comedic heart of the Griffin family. Despite her relatively thankless role within the show's universe, Kunis brought a vocal authenticity to Meg that made the abuse land with just enough irony to work. Her delivery was droll, flat when it needed to be, and explosively emotional when Meg finally snapped, as she often does. Kunis, who would go on to become a Hollywood A-lister thanks to roles in that 70s show, Black Swan, and Bad Moms, somehow continued to show up season after season, microphone in hand, megging away. Through career highs, marriages, pregnancies, and blockbuster roles, Mila Kunis never stopped being Meg. Until now. The rumors begin. The first hints of Kunis possibly stepping away didn't come from a press release or a scandal, just subtle signs. A noticeable absence from cast interviews, minor inconsistencies in Meg's voice during recent episodes, and of course the hyper-attuned Family Guy fanbase picking up on anything that sounded slightly off. Then came the Reddit threads, the viral TikToks, the YouTube reaction videos. Meg sounds different. Is Mila Kunis still voicing Meg? Has Meg been recast? The internet does what it does best: speculated, assumed, panicked. When asked in a recent press junket for an unrelated film whether she was still doing Meg, Kunis gave a cryptic answer. Greater than "I've done Meg for most of my life. It's surreal. It's part of me. But sometimes things evolve." Evolve? Fans zeroed in on that word like hawks. Was this a subtle hint? A soft goodbye? Or just a reflection on her 20-plus year run? Why would Mila Kunis leave now? Let's face it, Mila Kunis doesn't need Family Guy, financially or creatively. She's carved out a diverse career, balancing commercial hits with indie cred, all while managing a high-profile marriage to Ashton Kutcher and raising 2 children. Voice acting, while relatively low commitment compared to film and TV roles, may simply no longer fit into her life or artistic ambitions. Another factor? Possibly burnout. Even for a comedic actor, being the butt of the joke every week can wear thin, especially when the character never evolves or wins. And despite Meg's occasional standout moments, who can forget the epic kitchen table meltdown and seahorse seashell party, she largely remains the same. Ignored, mocked, unloved. There's also the Seth MacFarlane factor. The creator of Family Guy has seen his role shift across multiple projects, including The Orville, Ted, and various music ventures. If MacFarlane steps back, or the show's dynamic shifts creatively, Kunis may feel now is the right time to exit quietly. What would Family Guy look like without her? Let's say it's true. Let's say Mila Kunis has decided to hang up her "Ugh, shut up, Meg" voice forever. What happens next? Recasting Meg would be a bold but not unprecedented move. The show has already switched voices before. Think of when Mike Henry stepped back from voicing Cleveland Brown, replaced by Arif Zahir. The transition was handled with a surprising amount of grace and acceptance by fans. The same could happen with Meg, especially if the show acknowledges the shift openly in their signature meta style. Picture Peter turning to Meg mid-episode and saying, "Wait a minute. Why do you sound different?" Followed by a fourth-wall-breaking joke about Hollywood contracts and scheduling conflicts. That's Family Guy at its finest. Still, Kunis' voice is so tied to the character that finding a replacement who matches her tone, delivery, and comedic timing would be a tall order. Some fans have thrown out names like Kristen Shaw, Bob's Burgers, Anna Kendrick, or even an unknown talent capable of vocal mimicry. But others argue that if Mila leaves, it might be time to retire or reinvent Meg entirely. Is this the end of Meg Griffin? Let's not forget, Meg is often treated as expendable by the show's own writing. Killing her off, sending her to college, or having her leave the Griffin household wouldn't be out of character for Family Guy. In fact, it might even be the best thing for Meg. Imagine an arc where Meg finally snaps again, but this time leaves for good, maybe to find herself, become a cult leader, or run away with Neil Goldman. A dramatic farewell, voiced one last time by Kunis, could give Meg the catharsis fans have wanted for years. Or maybe the show doubles down on the